My name is Letitia Grimmett, and this is my husband, Derek, and I've had the gastric bypass surgery.
My name is Debbie Millay, and I had the sleeve gastrectomy surgery.
My name's Charles Fox. I go by Bill. I had my surgery on April 13th, 2009.
My name is Tina. I had a gastric bypass done a little over a year ago.
Well, I'm Matt Walker, and this is my wife Shauna, and I had the gastric bypass surgery.
I'm Rick Blees. I'm 52. I weighed close to 300 pounds.
My name is Shelley. I had the lap band surgery, and I had it 6.5 years ago, and I'll be honest, if I had to do it again tomorrow, I wouldn't hesitate. It's one of the best things I ever did.
Probably one of the best decisions I've ever made.
It has changed the quality of life that I live now. It's totally amazing.
A life change, total life change.
I wake up every day, and on my ride to work, honest to God knows, I say every day, thank you, this was so worth it.
It didn't save my life, it gave me my life back.
Welcome to the bariatric practice of Dr. Cottom and Dr. Richards. This introductory video will give you more information about the options available to those considering weight loss surgery. Over the course of this 30-minute video, we will provide you with a brief overview of the types of surgery we perform, the risk of those surgeries, recovery times, and how much weight you can expect to lose. We'll also discuss the personal commitments involved, including which foods to eat and which foods to avoid, exercise, insurance, and how our uniquely designed staff can increase your chances for success. Through testimonials, we'll follow the stories of patients who've undergone surgery and improved their lives. We're confident that at the conclusion of these videos, you'll be more informed and better prepared to make decisions concerning your own personal weight loss goals. The goals for this seminar are to understand the multiple risks of continued obesity, the different types of surgical options, the risks and benefits associated with each surgery, how to proceed with surgery from today, and why the Surgical Weight Loss Center of Utah is your best option. Let's get started.
Perhaps the most amazing thing about bariatric surgery is the procedures that we perform last anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour, yet the effects of that procedure can be felt for a lifetime. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be a surgeon. I was born in Salt Lake City, Utah, and at 6 years old, I moved to Houston, Texas. I grew up in Houston, Texas from 6 to 23. I graduated from high school there and went to college there. I was married to my sweetheart in college, Amy Hardcastle. We finished up at Brigham Young University, and then we went to medical school in San Antonio. San Antonio was my first choice in medical schools. It was in San Antonio that we had my first two kids, Austin and Samuel, who were both named after Texas Revolutionary War heroes. After San Antonio, we moved to Long Island, New York, where I did my residency for 4 years. Then I discovered in my residency bariatric surgery with a surgeon by the name of Dr. Angus. And Dr. Angus showed me how happy the patients were and how dynamic the field was and how we're helping these people's lives. I said, that's what I want to do with my life. I then did a fellowship in only bariatric surgery for 2 years at the University of Pittsburgh with Dr. Philip Schauer.
He really has been on the forefront of bariatrics. He trained at probably one of the best centers in the country.
We then moved around the country and we adopted a little girl, Naomi. She was from the Atlanta, Georgia area. And now in Salt Lake, we adopted another girl. When my family gets together, we like to spend time up at our favorite ski resort, Brighton. When I'm not a doctor, what am I doing? I am usually mountain biking, skiing, kayaking, rafting, or just generally being outdoors. If I had to say what a good day for a bariatric surgeon would be, it would be the opportunity to perform surgery on people and change their lives in the morning, and then see follow-up on different patients in the afternoon, both short-term follow-ups, and most importantly, the best thing is seeing people who are 1, 2, 3, and 4 years out from surgery who've really changed their lives and taken control. And that for me is probably the most exciting thing, seeing how a 45-minute procedure can change a person forever.
Well, after I decided that being an astronaut and a supermodel probably were not in my cards, I probably really have been interested in being a doctor for as long as I can remember. I'm Dr. Christina Richards at the Surgical Weight Loss Center of Utah. I've been a bariatric surgeon for about 8 years now, and am really excited to make such huge life changes for patients, getting rid of medical comorbidities and giving them a life they never thought they were going to be able to have again. So I started out actually as an exercise physiologist at Ohio State University, and then got kind of bored doing that and said, well, I think I want to go to medical school, so went to medical school at Ohio State. Then I did my general surgery residency at the Medical College of Wisconsin in Milwaukee. Kind of got interested in doing laparoscopy there and was actually awarded as a chief resident laparoendoscopic surgeon of the year or something like that. And so decided to go on and do advanced training in laparoscopy. Went on to do a laparoscopic fellowship at the University of Washington, and then came back to Utah, which is where I grew up, to practice. I then actually adopted 2 children as a single person, thinking I would probably never get married, and then a wonderful man came along and we got married last summer. So I've got my little family kind of backwards, but I figured it out somehow. When I started in practice, bariatric surgery was probably the last thing that I wanted to do. I had seen some really serious complications in my residency, and I had felt like the patients didn't get a lot of support that they probably needed. I then had a patient who came to me and convinced me that I should start doing lap bands, and she wanted me to do it for her.
She's a very caring, loving, professional doctor who wants to be successful by having you be successful. There's no better definition of an excellent surgeon than that.
I then learned how to do that and said if I was going to do that, I was going to set up a program involving the hospital and a complete multidisciplinary program. And then it's evolved since then. I mean, decided we wanted to start doing gastric bypasses and ultimately sleeves. Dr. Cottom came and brought in a lot of expertise from his side, and it's really just kind of grown from there.
I've been in practice with Dr. Richards ever since I've come to Salt Lake City. We perform bariatric surgery together, and I can tell you that I've had partners as I've moved around the country, and she's the best partner I've ever had. She is very empathetic with her patients, strives to obtain the best, and is generally an all-around good person.
It is such a gratifying feeling. There is very little in medicine where you can actually reverse diseases and have them go away. That's part of what attracted me to surgery in the first place, and bariatrics is even an extreme of that. It is just amazing to see people get in completely new lives, have 20 years extra to live, and to really live it to its fullest. It's been tremendous.
I was taking 7 medications prior to my surgery. I take 1 now.
Since the 1980s, obesity has been increasing throughout this country from, in a lot of states, less than 10% to over 30% in some states at this time.
Right here in Utah, 50% of all the deaths in obese women from cancer come from being obese, and 30% of all the deaths from cancer in obese men come from being obese.
Obesity is catching up to tobacco as the leading cause of death in America. If this trend continues, it will soon overtake tobacco. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
When we talk about obesity, we talk a lot about comorbidities. And comorbidities are medical problems that are caused by or made worse by being overweight. So there are things like diabetes, high blood pressure, sleep apnea,
Hypertension, cancer, stroke, swelling of the feet and ankles, infertility.
They see their doctors more often, they take more sick leave, they have more time off work or being suboptimal at work because of joint issues or sicknesses. But we know that the vast majority of patients who have those comorbidities, those can be eliminated by weight loss from surgery. The National Institutes of Health actually does classify obesity as a disease.
Severe obesity is a chronic condition that is difficult to treat through diet and exercise alone. Gastrointestinal surgery is the best option for people who are severely obese. National Institute of Health.
They also say that, being able to lose weight and keep it off, only about 1% or fewer than 1% are able to do that. I would say it's rare enough that you get to be on the cover of People magazine if it happens. The reality is that it doesn't happen very well with diet and exercise.
The chance of losing weight through diet and exercise alone is only 1 in 1,000, while the chance of losing weight with surgery is approximately 80%.
Obesity problems in the United States. Obesity is one of the leading causes of preventable death. Obesity contributes to 50% of cancer deaths in obese females and 30% of cancer deaths in obese males. Obesity is the primary contributor to type 2 diabetes, sleep apnea, cardiovascular disease, and hypertension. And it is estimated that obesity causes 300,000 deaths annually.
Patients who are overweight find that they suffer discrimination at work. They a lot of times can't get advancement. They are often ignored by other people who just don't even look at them when they walk by on the street. They have a hard time finding seating in theaters, restaurants, in airplanes.
Obesity affects the ability of people to feel human. They can't get in and out of a car. They can't play with their kids. They can't go to the show. They can't get on an airplane. It limits their ability to enjoy the freedoms that thin people enjoy.
Social and physical drawbacks include various discriminations, limited physical mobility, seating issues, and clothing limitations. Now, how is obesity determined and when should a person consider surgery? We start with a BMI, or body mass index. It measures body fat based on height and weight. For example, this graph shows a woman that is 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighing 255 pounds. Her BMI is 43.8. To check your BMI, visit thinbeginnings.com and click on the BMI calculator. We consider surgery when a patient has a BMI over 40 or over 35 with medical problems, when a patient has been unsuccessful with previous weight loss attempts, when a patient is committed to a lifestyle change and agrees to a lifetime of medical follow-ups. Also, some patients with BMIs lower than 35 can be considered for surgery. A consultation with a surgeon would be necessary to make that decision.
My name's Charles Fox. I go by Bill.
My name is Tina.
My name is Letitia Grimmett, and this is my husband, Derek.
Well, I've lost 143 pounds in 5.5 months, and I've lost 10 inches around my waist. I was wearing 44-inch pants. Today I'm wearing 34s. The last time I wore 34s, I think I was 20 years old. I'm now 50, so yeah, it's totally awesome. So
I weighed 464 pounds. Today I weigh 254 pounds. I've lost exactly 210 pounds. And I chase my year-old grandson around the yard like it's nothing.
Officially, my weight, that when I stood on the scale and just kind of came to grips, was 286 pounds.
I was taking, I think we were talking earlier, 6 or 7 different medications before my surgery. One of them, I was a needle diabetic.
I had acid reflux, really bad. Attacked me almost nightly. Couldn't do anything with it.
My health conditions got worse. Doctors were flagging me. It was like bells were going off when I come in for my appointments. Ding, ding, ding. Oh yeah, you're the one with the A1C above 12. And my blood pressure got heavier and the medications kept getting switched and nothing was helping me.
After the surgery, I have not had heartburn, let alone acid reflux. It's gone. Totally eliminated.
The fact that I've never had to touch a needle since the day of my surgery is just awesome.
1 week after the surgery, she didn't have to take any of her medication.
Yeah.
She didn't have to take her diabetes, her
High
insulin.
blood, no.
She didn't take her high blood pressure pill. She didn't have to take many of about 6 different pills you had.
I did. Then
I can't even name half of them.
I was taking 7 medications prior to my surgery. I take 1 now.
one of the most amazing things medically about the surgery, and nobody can understand it, is when you have those health problems, the miracle of it disappearing or almost going away soon after surgery. I have yet, it's over a year.
I feel it was the best thing I ever did for myself. The best thing I could have done for myself health-wise, because my health is totally back to where I need. I have more energy now than I ever had before.
Every day I see myself in the mirrors, I laugh. Gosh, look at me. I don't have any of my clothes anymore. I actually officially gave away every one of my clothes that I used to wear.
I can't stress enough on the fact of my grandkids. Being able to play with them is just the ultimate.
I just thank God for the change. This surgery was like gave me new life. It really did.
Our doctors currently perform 3 types of bariatric surgeries. These surgeries are all clinically proven safe and effective in long-term weight loss. Each surgery has its own unique benefits, risks, and outcomes. So let's take a look at each one. Gastric banding, or the lap band.
The lap band is a restrictive device that acts like a belt. It goes around the upper portion of your stomach and allows you to eat less food and feel full.
After surgery, a lot of times for patients, when they eat small meals, they feel full for the first time. They've never really felt that full sensation. So eating fewer calories, they're able to lose weight, and they were never able to do that before because they were chronically hungry. The band itself is attached to some tubing, and that is attached to a port. And the port goes underneath the skin, under the fat, on the muscles of the abdominal wall. It allows us to put a special needle in that to adjust the band to make it either tighter or looser so that the patients get the right amount of what we call the restriction.
As you tighten it, you lose weight. You lose weight because you eat less calories, and you don't need to snack because when the lap band is adjusted appropriately, you feel full and can go between meals without feeling the need to snack.
After the lap band, the weight loss is slow. It tends to be about 1 or 2 pounds per week. So we usually tell people it's going to take them about 2 or 3 years to get down to their goal weight.
The average lap band patient by 3 years has lost 60 out of every 100 pounds that they're overweight.
All the operations have some risk, and as does surgery in general. With the lap band, although things can happen that require reoperation, it is exceedingly rare to have any problem that is a life-threatening sort of problem.
Now, the best part of having a lap band is its safety profile. It is simply the safest bariatric surgery there is.
We don't divide and reattach things. They don't really have the risk of a leak. You don't get malabsorption. You don't get dumping syndrome, which is something that can occur with the gastric bypass.
It's so much less invasive than all the other procedures. Most people go home from the hospital the same day they have the surgery, and most people are back to work within 2 or 3 days.
Lap band benefits. The lap band is the least invasive operation. It allows you to return to work quickly with shorter hospital stays. The lap band is adjustable and easily removed. It's also considered the safest bariatric procedure.
The biggest drawbacks for the lap band is the slower weight loss. It typically takes a person 3 to 5 years to lose their weight after the lap band, and the chance of slippage.
Well, some of the risks are things that can happen with any surgery. There are things like blood clots, pneumonias, infections of the wound. There are some things that are specific to lap bands. Probably the one that we hear about the most is a slip, and that's where if the band is on the top part of the stomach actually slips up above the band and blocks it off so that people aren't able to eat or drink. Another one that is heard about and occurs very infrequently is what's called an erosion, where the band actually erodes through the stomach wall into the inside of the stomach.
One of the most important things that a person has to do after they have a lap band is follow up with their physician. The average person needs to follow up in the office at least 6 to 8 times in the first year to be successful long-term with the lap band.
Adjustments are a really critical part of the lap band functioning. We talk about green, yellow, and red zones, and the goal is to be in the green zone where you're feeling satisfied with small portions and losing 1 or 2 pounds per week. People are way more scared of having it done than after they've had it. They said, "Is that it?" But what happens, patients come in, we clean off the area where the port is, and then we put a special needle in there. Sometimes we'll numb the skin up first. And I would say it hurts less than having an IV put in, so it's really pretty minimal.
Lap band drawbacks: slower weight loss, frequent adjustment to achieve best results, risk of slippage and erosion. A 3-year study was performed involving 218 lap band patients with an average age of 44. The average starting BMI was 47.2. The average ending BMI was 31.
My name is Shelley. I had the lap band surgery, and I had it 6.5 years ago, and I'll be honest, if I had to do it again tomorrow, I wouldn't hesitate. It's one of the best things I ever did. It didn't save my life, it gave me my life back. There's something that happens to a woman's psyche when you can't lose weight and you think you can. You almost want to give up, and that's where I started realizing I was losing an emotional battle with my weight, and it was miserable. After researching the bypass, I knew I needed to do something, but it was too extreme for me. It works for many, many people, but I needed the help of my support person, so I chose to have the lap band surgery because it was something that was reversible, it was slower, it was less invasive. I still needed the same support person, I still needed to follow the same rules about exercise and nutrition, but it was something that was